Hello, warriors, and welcome to this episode of the Sacred Soma Supplement Seminar. And on today's episode, we are going to be featuring the magic of Maca. And not just that, it's going to be the magic of Maca as it pertains to sexual health and virility. Before I get into that whole presentation, I think I'm a little bit underdressed because Maca is a superhero ingredient after all, and so I need to transform. And now that I have transformed, let's get into the presentation. Hello, warriors, and welcome to the second installment of the Sacred Soma Supplement Seminar. And this episode is all about the magic of Maca, and more specifically, the magic of Maca as it pertains to sexual health. Maca is actually known as nature's Viagra and is an ancient root that has been growing in Peru for thousands of years, and as a result, is a sacred plant that is used by that culture. It has been getting a lot more attention these days due to the fact that it has been classified as something that is called an adaptogen, which I talked about in my last supplement seminar about ashwagandha, because Maca, of course, has benefits as it relates to your body's ability to deal with stress. Because there are so many different benefits as it comes to Maca, we have decided to leverage Maca in our Formula 3 supplement, our newest addition to our Sacred Soma supplement stack. If you are interested in superhero fitness training, which also includes supplementation protocols and development of a supplement protocol practice, which is individual for yourself, you can check us out at the link below. Due to the fact that there are a whole host of benefits as it pertains to Maca, one presentation, which I want to keep very succinct, is probably not enough to go through all of the research that exists, and so that is why this specific presentation is going to focus on the sexual virility and those aspects of how Maca can help our human family benefit and thrive in this existence. And so that was, I think, enough preamble. Let's get into the presentation. Okay, everybody, welcome to the presentation, The Magic of Maca, the second installment of our Sacred Soma Supplement series. I'm so excited to share all of the fun research and benefits as it comes to Maca and sexual health, so let's get into it. And so, my warrior starseeds, welcome to this episode all about Maca, the super supplement that we have leveraged in our latest love formula for good reason. And that is also precisely why I have decided to make this presentation all with the green color, because the green color is very much associated with the heart chakra. And as it comes to the love formula and as we get into the benefits of Maca, you'll see how the heart, the blood, and the synergistic way that our body communicates with itself all plays into how we have a healthy sex life and how that plays into our mood as a whole. And so I am also dressed as Captain Marvel because Maca deserves that superhero version or that superhero highlight. And so I'm really excited to share with you all the things that this particular helper in your personal apothecary can do for you. Okay, so I don't have a huge agenda for this presentation. There is a lot of information to get through, but it's all very specific, which is good news. So we have a little mini agenda that I'm going to go through. So number one, we're first going to start with the basics of Maca. What is Maca, first of all, as well as what its traditional and sacred uses are holistically. We will really get into the exciting research for maca from an overall benefit to humanity perspective and living. Because as I mentioned, it is an adaptogen, but there's more to it than that. Then we are going to get into the really juicy stuff as we delve into the benefits of maca for sexual health and the reason why we have leveraged it and chosen it for our newest formula in our Soma supplements. Please note, the Formula 3 part of this presentation in terms of the alchemy and synergy as it comes to mushrooms will be gatekept on the Warrior class on Local, so go check that out. I will have a link to that in the description. Okay, so as I said, lots of material to get into in this presentation, so let's start with the basics. What is maca exactly? Now maca, I am going to totally butcher the pronunciation of these other names, so please bear with me. Ginseng andin, not so bad, also known as Peruvian ginseng, even though maca is not related to ginseng. Lepidulium meliana, or Lepidulium peruvianum. These are all the different names for maca. Maca is a plant that grows exclusively on the high plateaus of the Andes Mountains in Peru. Andean people have cultivated maca for more than 2,000 years. It's one of the few edible plants that can survive the harsh weather conditions above 4,000 meters. So it grows up on this tall mountain, surviving the climate there. And so I think that plays a big part into the very nature and the very vibration of what maca is. There is an ancient use of maca. The Incas and the ancient civilizations of Peru considered maca as an important part of their dietary intake. As such, I find that the reports of cautionary tales as it comes to supplementing with maca a little bit ironic, because this is a food that has been in use for thousands of years with no ill effects. For some Peruvians, it takes up more than half of the percentage of the type of food that they're even getting into their diet. And this also gets into what I was saying before in previous episodes of Soma supplementation, that supplements are really to bridge that gap between the nutrients that we are to get from food. And so that being said, I will bring this back to the fact that, as with all supplements and food, not every substance is for everyone. But the good news about maca and supplementation is that if you feel like you are experiencing any kind of negative side effects, you can always stop. Now, from a main overall benefit perspective, before we get into the specifics, a 2014 study of mice found a link between consuming maca for 6 weeks and increased dopamine levels. And this would lead to reduced feelings of depression. Overall, maca seems to assist with mood improvement, alleviating feelings of anxiety and depression, as well as increased energy and improved circulation, which explains the usage of green and the heart chakra as well. It is also considered an adaptogen, meaning that it assists your body with dealing with stress and that pesky cortisol, that stress hormone, and mitigating it. And so, as mentioned, it's not about getting rid of the stress, although that would be nice, right? But more about your body's ability to bounce back and deal with the pressures of that stress. Now, let's get into the juicy stuff. Maca for sexy time. Nature's Viagra. Lots safer too, I would think. There is an interesting connection between sexual health and mood and reduced symptoms of depression. It seems like these things all go together. And I am still working on my blog article, which is taking me 5 million years, about if your happiness hormones are being hijacked. And those hormones are dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. As mentioned previously in this presentation, there seems to be a connection between alleviated or balanced levels of dopamine due to supplementing with maca, and that is a contributing factor to an enhanced or better feeling mood. Now remember, this is all hypothesis, because if you look at the research with maca, it's not even clear from the mainstream science perspective how maca works. I'm going to get into what a lot of the naturopaths and alternative science places have been saying about maca, which I think is really interesting. But there are actual research studies about maca in scientific literature, which I will link to because I did an article about it. There is that connection, though, however, between sexual health and overall good feelings, right? In terms of feeling happy or content with your life. In 2002, there was a study of supplementing men with maca, which led to higher sexual desire. A 2010 review of 131 participants all had reports of increased sexual desire and energy overall, as well as a reduction in blood pressure and symptoms of depression. So this is all very promising. And if you are thinking about supplementing with maca, there is very little side effects from a hormonal standpoint. The unique way that maca works is through your endocannabinoid system. This is really cool because, and it functions in a different pathway than what cannabis does, but it still leverages that same system. And so within that system, maca is known as a hormone harmonizer, meaning that if you are low in estrogen, it will bump you up. And if you are high in estrogen, it will bring you down, that homeostasis. So it's a way of regulating hormones without messing with estrogen or testosterone, which is the typical way that we try to change or therapeutically alter moods if we feel like something's not right. So I think maca is a great way to deal with feelings of anxiety and depression in a much more natural way. And I also have my sources of information to back up my claims as it comes to maca as a supplement and all of its benefits, its claims, right? Now, look at all of this research. First of all, women's libido and SSRIs. There was a 2015, so that's actually not quite too long ago, it's pretty recent. There's a 2015 study on 45 women who were experiencing antidepressant-induced sexual dysfunction that found taking 3,000 milligrams of maca root per day for 12 weeks significantly improved sexual function and libido. This is huge because from an SSRI perspective, a huge side effect is a drop in libido and like vaginal dryness and all this stuff that makes you feel super non-sexy. And maca has actually shown to help with a lot of those side effects as it comes to taking SSRIs. So any women who are on any SSRIs and you're dealing with these kinds of symptoms, maca I think is a great thing to try. Next we have menopausal symptoms. Maca has been assessed in research review to determine effectiveness against postmenopausal symptoms, as well as alleviating the depression associated and improving overall sexual desire. There are many promising research reviews that I'm going to link to in the description for further reading if you're interested. And finally, I found this very interesting as a major benefit as it comes to maca, because we still don't really know what the mechanism of action is behind it, but I digress. We have sperm mobility and motility two different things. So its ability to move and its ability to be agile and mobile. So all things needed to be fertile. A systematic review of studies of maca on sperm quality was conducted in 2016. One RCT, which is known as a randomized control trial, found favorable effects of maca on sperm mobility in infertile men. The other two RCTs showed positive effects of maca on several semen quality parameters in healthy men. Okay, Warrior Starseeds, we have arrived at the end of the first half of this presentation all about the magic of maca, because we have leveraged maca in our, I don't know if you can see this, Formula 3, and it matches the presentation, Soma supplements. I'm just going to read the label. It's the Love formula with penis envy and maca. And so let's get into that magic. If you would like to get the rest of this presentation, please follow us on the Warrior class. It will be available to all members.